Okay.
And they're going to filter it down, find the energy companies that fit what they're looking for. Their main focus is on, the big decision makers, people like CIOs, transformation managers, people who are using ServiceNow already.
Okay.
But they've also got a secondary group they're going after, which is basically anyone in these companies who they have an email address for.
Right. So they're really focusing on people who are going to, understand ServiceNow, be involved with it.
Exactly.
Now, they mentioned this double punch campaign in the recording.
Yeah.
What is that exactly?
So the double punch is all about how they reach out initially.
Hello.
They make a direct phone call to
You're
build
on the couch,
rapport,
Matilda.
ask permission to share info.
Okay.
But then they followed up really quickly with an email. And that email has that, intriguing message we talked about.
Got it.
So it's like this coordinated multi-touch approach right from the start.
Interesting. And they also talked about using the relationships between these energy companies.
Right.
Like, how does that factor into the whole COBRA approach?
Well, the idea is to figure out, what are the common challenges these companies are facing?
Okay.
What are they worried about? And the audio specifically mentioned, like, upcoming regulations and the impact of the election as examples.
Got it, yeah.
So by understanding what's happening in the industry as a whole and how these companies are connected, they can really tailor their message. They can show how ServiceNow can actually help with these shared challenges,
Right, yeah. So curiosity is the main thing they're trying to spark, right?
Yeah, that's the big emotion they're going for.
And how do they go about doing that?
Well, that's the whole point of the phone call. It's quick, it's to the point. You just ask if you can send more information.
Okay.
And then the email follows up and asks them about, how they're using ServiceNow right now.
Right.
It's this, like, really indirect, low-pressure approach.
Right.
And they figure it's a lot more intriguing and way less likely to be ignored than, like, a hard sell.
Right.
We're hoping to kick things off by the beginning of next week.
Wow. Okay, so that shows, they're confident that this approach will work, get them results.
For sure.
Okay, so let's talk about Talent Flow, that ServiceNow recruitment agency.
Okay.
Their capability statement, it's all about their expertise in this, like, specific niche, right?
Yeah.
So how does that play into this whole COBRA thing? How does their background, their knowledge, contribute to all of this?
Well, Talent Flow is all about ServiceNow recruitment.
Yeah.
That's their specialty.
Yeah.
And their capability statement, it talks about their huge network. They've got certified ServiceNow professionals,
Yeah.
architects, developers, consultants, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
And they highlighted this guy, Greg Thorpe. He's got tons of experience in ServiceNow recruitment. And he's worked with both, companies that use ServiceNow and the partners that implement it.
Wow.
Including some in the energy industry.
Okay, so they really know this, like ServiceNow talent landscape.
They do.
And they get what companies need, right?
They do.
So how does bringing it all together, what are the big takeaways from all this? This COBRA technique and how they're using it with energy companies and ServiceNow. What's the why behind it all?
All right, so the big thing is that COBRA is a shift. It's a move towards this really personalized, relationship-driven approach to business development.
Okay.
It's about cutting through the noise,
Right.
all that traditional sales and marketing that everyone's doing. And they do it by focusing on those individual connections, using data in a smart way, and really getting what makes both the person and the company tick, their values, the whole picture.
And the fact that they're doing this now, with all the changes happening in the energy industry, the regulations, the election, that's going to be strategic.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
By timing it this way,
Yeah.
they're hoping to create this sense of urgency,
Yeah.
They're basically showing these companies that having a strong ServiceNow capability is critical right now.
Exactly. And remember the whole benchmark thing?
Oh, yeah.
It's not just about getting new business, right?
Right.
They want to prove that this unusual approach, this outlier, it actually works better than, the standard marketing stuff.
That's it. They're saying, hey, there's a better way to build relationships, strong ones that last.
Yeah. So to you, our listener, think about this.
Yeah.
How could you use this kind of approach, this focus on building personal relationships in your industry?
Right.
In your work? What are some outlier strategies you could try to create those meaningful connections?
This deep dive into COBRA, it really gives you a different perspective. It's this non-traditional method but it might be the key to unlocking some really amazing opportunities.
It shows you how important human connection still is, even in this world of automation and, like you said, broad stroke marketing.
Totally. It's about cutting through all that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you next time.
See you.